Think you know the four horsemen of the apocalypse? Think again. Join us as we dive deep into the book of Revelation to uncover astonishing truths and hidden meanings that will leave you speechless. This is one biblical prophecy you won't want to miss. It's also known as the Apocalypse of John. The book of Revelation goes into great depth about the four horsemen of the apocalypse, which is a well-known and scary vision. The last book in the New Testament is a great work of writing about the end of the world. It is full of scary images and symbolic language. It has a message of both fear and hope in its pages. These scary figures are introduced in Revelation 6, verse 1 to 8. Each one stands for a different kind of divine justice. Some scholars disagree with the usual view that this was written by John and say that another John, who is often called John of Patmos, may have done it, but anyway. It was written between 95 and 96 AD during the hard rule of the Roman Emperor Domitian, when Christians were persecuted very badly. The vision starts with the opening of a scroll that had 7 locks on it. Every time a seal is broken, a new horseman comes out, bringing a different kind of chaos to the world. Revelation chapter 6, verses 1 and 2 goes, "I watched as the Lamb opened the first of the 7 seals. Then I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder, 'Come!' I looked, and there before me was a white horse. Its rider held a bow, and he was given a crown, and he rode out as a conqueror bent on conquest." This is where the person on the white horse with the crown and bow rides off like a victor. Are you seeing him as a sign of victory or the lie of fake peace? The figure of the rider on the white horse in Revelation is one of the most interesting and discussed in the Bible. His name is unknown, and researchers and theologians are arguing very strongly about it. But remember, my brothers in Christ, in Matthew chapter 24, verse 24, the Bible tells us, "For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect." Jesus warns us about false messiahs and prophets who will appear performing impressive miracles to deceive people, even believers. These false leaders will try to trick us with their signs and wonders, making it easy to get led astray. Jesus' warning is clear. We must stay alert and discerning, holding firmly to our faith so we don't get fooled by these deceptive figures. In times of confusion, it's crucial to trust in the truth of Christ and not be swayed by false promises. Next comes the red horse. Its rider, wielding a great sword, granted the power to take peace from the earth, causing men to slay each other. War and bloodshed follow in his wake. Revelations chapter 6, verses 3 and 4. When the Lamb opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, "Come!" Then another horse came out, a fiery red one. Its rider was given power to take peace from the earth and to make people kill each other. To him was given a large sword. The second horseman of the apocalypse rides in on a fiery red horse and brings fear and chaos into the apocalyptic vision of Revelation. When the second seal is broken, which lets everyone know he's coming, violence and killing break out on earth. The second horseman of the apocalypse, riding a red horse and carrying a great sword, represents more than just war. This figure plays a crucial role in revealing the fragility of false peace. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, Paul warns, while people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly. This verse highlights how people often believe they have achieved peace, only to face sudden turmoil. The second horseman's role is to disrupt this false sense of security. Throughout history, we've seen how political treaties and agreements can create a facade of peace, but underlying tensions often lead to conflict. The second horseman cuts through this illusion, exposing the true nature of peace built on human efforts alone. Today, we see leaders and nations declaring peace and safety, but these promises can be fleeting. The horseman's sword symbolizes a divine intervention that challenges us to seek genuine peace, which can only be found through a relationship with God. The message of the second horseman is a reminder that true peace isn't just about avoiding conflict, it's about righteousness and justice. As we navigate a world full of false promises, let's remember to seek real peace through faith and vigilance. Then the black horse emerges, its rider holding a pair of scales. A voice declares the cost of food will soar, signifying famine and economic hardship. The fragile balance of survival teeters on the edge. Our holy scriptures read like this, Revelation chapter 6, verses 5 to 6. When the Lamb opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a black horse. Its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. Then I heard what sounded like a voice among the four living creatures saying, 2 pounds of wheat for a day's wages, and 6 pounds of barley for a day's wages, and do not damage the oil and the wine. The third horseman of the apocalypse rides a black horse with scales, symbolizing famine and economic trouble. His message is more relevant today than ever. In the 14th century, the Great Famine struck Europe, killing about 25% to 30% of the population. It wasn't just about hunger, it led to economic collapse and big changes in society. Today, famine and high food prices are real issues. In 2021, around 828 million people were undernourished globally. Food prices surged by nearly 30% in 2022 compared to before the pandemic. These high costs show the kind of imbalance represented by the third horseman's scales. Food price spikes in 2007 to 2008 caused riots in over 60 countries, including Haiti and Egypt. Areas hit by drought, like parts of East Africa, are also experiencing severe food shortages. This shows how famine can lead to economic and social problems, just like the scales of the third horseman predict. The third horseman's scales also make us think about fairness. In 2021, over 50% of people in many countries couldn't afford food with half their income. This reminds us of the need to share resources more fairly and help those in need. The third horseman's message is a wake-up call for us as Christians. We are called to act with compassion, to support those who are suffering, and to seek justice in a world where food insecurity and economic inequality are growing. It's a reminder to live out our faith by caring for the hungry and working towards a more just and loving world. Finally, the pale horse arrives ridden by death, with Hades following close behind. They are given authority over a fourth of the earth, to kill by sword, famine, plague, and by the wild beasts of the earth. The fourth horseman of the apocalypse rides a pale horse representing death. His arrival in Revelation 6 has a powerful message for today. The pale color of the horse symbolizes decay. In today's world, this can be seen in issues like pandemics and environmental problems. For example, COVID-19 has affected over 770 million people globally, showing widespread suffering. The fourth horseman comes after conquest, war, and famine. These earlier horsemen create conditions where death becomes a major issue. Today, conflicts, economic troubles, and food shortages are causing significant problems, just as described in the prophecy. Revelation chapter 6 verse 8 tells us that death is followed by Hades, meaning his impact goes beyond physical death to include spiritual and emotional suffering. For instance, nearly 70% of people in war zones experience mental health issues, reflecting the deeper impact of these crises. Death affects a fourth of the earth, indicating massive devastation. Historically, the Black Death killed 30% to 60% of Europe's population. Today, natural disasters and pandemics also affect millions. In 2022, natural disasters caused over $280 billion in damage worldwide. The fourth horseman also represents moral and spiritual decline. Nowadays, many people feel that society is becoming more divided. A 2021 survey showed that 70% of people think society is growing more divided, reflecting the broader issues that the fourth horseman symbolizes. As Christians, the fourth horseman's message challenges us to take meaningful action. In the face of widespread suffering and crisis, we are called to embody Christ's love and mercy. This is our opportunity to shine as beacons of hope, offering support and relief to those in need. By embracing our faith and actively working to alleviate suffering, we can demonstrate the compassion and grace of Christ, making a positive difference in a world experiencing profound trials.